to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see. Hey y'all, I got Moon River in my head today, of all songs to have in my head today. Ooh. The setup is a little different. The first rule of being here is no judgment. This is a judgment-free zone unless you're me. If you're not me and you're judging me, then leave. I'm just playing, y'all. Hey, y'all, welcome in. I had to get into the SKTs because I didn't get into the SKTs yesterday. And I've been missing my SKT, though, babies. Ooh, the Knight of Pentacles and... Hold up. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm like... There we go. That's what I needed. That's what I needed. Give me one moment to adjust my windows, y'all. And I can't adjust them before I come live because I pop out the chat, and I can't pop out a chat if I ain't got a chat to pop out. There you go, baby. Hey, Justice, and the whole tripod ring light situation is still what it is. Don't mind the bag, right? I would say I'm trying, but we both know that that wouldn't be the closest thing to the truth, but not the furthest thing from the truth either. I'm actually going to come in and introduce a little light this way because I can... No, because you still need to see me, so... Let's see. These more down here. So if I do something like this, you'll be able to see it. Ooh, that 3 of Cups. Okay. So I came on earlier and I talked about those dreams I had last night. And I told my grandma, I was like, so I forgot some bags at Walmart yesterday. I forgot some spices at Walmart yesterday, so I went to, okay. Oh, that Archangel of Healing. Love that energy. Love that energy. So I went to go pick them up, and I was like, hey, Grandma, like, are you going, like, out today? And she was like, no, not really, but I'll take you if you want. I said, okay. There we go, y'all. Y'all see her? Archangel of Healing. It is a little bright now, but that's fine. Actually, the one beautiful thing about using OBS is that I can do stuff like this on the fly. Looking pretty fly for a shy guy. So I can... I thought I could get rid of this, but I'll just drag this down here. And I'll move this right here. Like that. Because the only thing I ever adjust is the brightness. Never adjust the contrast, but you know, that may help one of these days. Yeah, yes, queen, work. And so my grandma took me to the store. I get to the store because I forgot the stuff and I still have my receipt. So I'm like, hey, I forgot some stuff here yesterday. Do you have it? And she was like, what is it? I was like, it's some ghee, some garam masala, and some like crushed red chili pepper flakes. And she said, some what? I was like, some spices and some liquid butter. She was like, oh, I think I put that back yesterday. And she was like, just go, you know, get it. I was like, okay, thank you. Nice. So I got it. I made the Taco Bell version of some butter chicken. It was decent. It was good. It was a little sweet. I forgot the ginger because at first I wasn't going to do chicken. But then after I made the gravy, I'm like, I ain't got no chicken. So I did a little bit of that, but I never put any ginger in it. So, I mean, it's pretty good. It was a little sweet. I used tomato puree instead of pureeing tomatoes. And whenever you do that, you never really know how it's going to taste because, you know, they add things to it to preserve it, and they also add their own blends of whatever and whatever. And so I got those tomatoes already. Maybe I'll make them next week. It was pretty good. I ate some. I'm actually pretty full. Oh, the High Priestess. This is looking good, y'all. The High Priestess with this King of Cups energy. The Archangel of Healing and the High Priestess And we'll look at the bottom and we'll get started. I can also hold it up here. I forget. Does that work? Yeah, it does. The keeper. You want a bigger? The keeper, girl. Yes. Oh, and behind the keeper is this archangel commander, that King of Swords energy. Because who would he be if he wasn't haunting me? I don't know. Who is he? I also don't know. Is he me? Why did It's so interesting because I just got a whatchamacallit, some notifications that came on my phone. And when I was like, is he me? In my mind, it came like Buki me, Herupi me, Buki me, Herupi me, which is from Yokai Watch. Um, and then I saw this pop up. I was like, okay, cute, work. 1 second, y'all. 1 moment. I gotta navigate to the I Ching. Yeah. I gotta navigate to the I Ching. Gotta. It's that time again. Girl, what was that? Huh? I don't know what I'm doing today, y'all. I just want to be on here. Oh yeah, so I had my dream, and I was talking to my grandma, and I was like, "Mama, like I thought I was over this." Like, but in the dream, it was like I was very much so not. I am, and like not over it, just like over this way of being. And I didn't give her the full details of what happened. Um, but I was just like, in the first dream, it was like the way that I react to things, and kind of sort of my mentality, but not really my mentality. More, I guess, my reactionary state was kind of sort of tested. And then in the second one, I already told y'all all about that. I was like, it was just some straight up drama from like a long time ago. And she was like, well, sometimes the enemy comes to us to make us think that we haven't handled or healed in the ways that we may think. Also, maybe you'll be getting tested, or you getting tested in some kind of way. I was like, okay, accurate. And then she was like, but without really knowing what happened in the dream, interesting things about dream, interesting things in general, but we'll just stick with the dreams. Um, but she was like, yeah, without any way of knowing, I wouldn't be able to tell. She was like, I wasn't there in your. She was like, I wasn't there, so I wouldn't be able to tell. And I was like, actually, you were in my second dream. And she was like, really? I was like, yeah, I talked to you, and then you made me feel better about everything. And she was like, see, look at that. Maybe that means something. And then I watched something yesterday. And in that, he said, it doesn't matter what you see in dreams. It matters like what's happening or what they're doing, right? So like to just see a horse in your dream doesn't necessarily mean anything, but like what is the horse doing? And then I was like, oh, okay. So my grandma was there being grandma. And whenever I talk to my grandma, she just like puts me in this mode where no matter how like tightly wound I am, it's like everything just melts away. And I turn into this like little puddle of grandma's grandson. And in the dream, I cried. I was like, oh my gosh. And then that's when after that, I started to chill down. I started to chill out. And then that's when I went to sit by the princess. And the princess was like, hey, this thing that you started, there is no stopping it. I said, oof, girl, what you mean? And then here's the keeper down here. Anyway, let's get back into this, shall we? So this is Water Over Heaven. This will be interesting. No, sorry. This is the King of Chalices. This is double water. Double water energy. Let's see what double water is. Water. What is it? Water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. Is that the saying? Number 29, the abyss, girl. The keeper is sending us into the abyss. And look at her face. Look at her. Let me put her up here. Look at her face. Let me not bump into this and knock it over and have a repeat of yesterday, but look at her face. She's sending us into the abyss, just like, I hope you learned how to swim, babes. Because if not, you're going to drown. I was like, oh, goodness, girl. I love this whole like little 2-channel thing I have going on right now. Because on my other channel, the videos are so short. I've never been able to get them that short before. Now they're just coming out that short. And I'm like, lovely. And over here, I get to like do whatever I want. I get to be like, wow. You know what I mean? This is Khan, Pitfall, Perils, and the Abyss. Exercise caution. There is potential for danger here. Be wary of pitfalls, entrapment, and perils. Nevertheless, fear not, because there is a clear path to safety. Where there is trust and sincerity, and a heart serves an important mission, there can be prosperity in spite of the pitfalls. Your endeavor is a worthy cause to proceed with, and so, in spite of peril, you must continue and proceed with your endeavor. I'll read that again. Your endeavor is a worthy cause to proceed with, and so, in spite of peril, you must continue and proceed with your endeavor. A journey must continue, and a journey can bring great rewards. Remain steadfast to the ways of virtue and benevolence in all undertakings. And I'm trying to chill out a little bit. So I didn't even read these before I read that. But with the Archangel of Healing and with the Priestess, again, it kind of sort of, it brings to mind that energy that is kind of sort of running below the current but coming to the surface for y'all folks. Again, I mean, it's what I've been on for the past few days, so maybe I can take a vacation, right? But I love coming here with you guys. It's like we're more than prepared for the challenges that lie ahead. As they come, we're more than prepared for the challenges as they come. Now, if we don't face the challenges head on, then we invite them to, grab some buddies and come back in greater number until they get our attention. Now, I'm about to eat some Sour Patch Kids. Ooh. I got so much sugar at the store yesterday. But I haven't had a sugar week in a while. I kind of like have a sugar week and then I'll go a few weeks with no sugar. And it's not necessarily intentional. It's just my body. But if we don't address them and face them and let them pile up, then they'll become even bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It's almost like one of those like zombie games where, like Call of Duty Zombies, where you're in a house and the zombies are shambling up to you, and if you don't take them out, they just get closer. So right now, the house is a light. And as the objects come closer to the source of the light, the shadows get bigger. And so if you don't handle them when they're out here, by the time they're up here, the shadow is going to be like a mile long, girl. And it's like you are more than prepared and equipped to handle it at the moment it arose. But if you didn't face it, it's gonna pick up. It's gonna snowball. So it's gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger as it comes nearer and nearer and nearer, more and more and more near, far, wherever you are. And so that's what this Archangel of Healing and the High Priestess is. I feel like there are a lot of things, and again, take this as it resonates. I feel like there are some things that we're not necessarily going to get assisted with. There are some things that like you can call out to your angels, but like it was like a week or two ago. I was like, I don't remember what I was doing, but it was like someone sending an SOS to Spirit, and Spirit is sending back or replying SYS, like save yourself, right? Save your soul, because I think SOS is like save our souls or something like that. Save your souls or save your own souls. Sus. Sois. Sios. I don't know. SYOS. Save your own soul. Because whatever this is, we're already prepared for it. And it's a space of testing. It's a space of growth. It's a space of challenge. And it's a challenge that we're going to be coming into. So if you weren't handling challenges before, you're going to be getting them. You're going to be getting them now. My little Libra friend can be so nice to me sometimes. He does it in moderation, because if he's too nice to me, I'll get used to it. His words. But he was like, as long as it's edible, you did a great job, friend. I was like, thank you for being nice today. What's in Libra? Where is Venus? What's going on? Why is he nice? I'll just take it. Thank you. But with the keeper here, it almost feels like, again, like we've healed enough for whatever challenges come ahead. When it comes to that Ten of Swords energy now, like I felt it yesterday, we're just going to have to be strong enough to get up and to keep moving. But if we do, it's almost like the further we go, the more we'll be granted access to. And again, back in February or whenever the mist started rolling into the forest, it was like the people who find a way to navigate out of the forest before the veil lifts, before the mists lift and the confusion is lifted, they're going to be the masters. Like, they're going to be the new masters, right? And then the folks, like, depending on how much you progress, you will also get some kind of reward. And so now, kind of, I don't know. I don't have those cards. And this is my own personal, there are waves to it, right? So the first wave I feel like would be over, because it's like now everyone is kind of sort of finding this more even kill, or everyone is sort of coming out of that confusion. But in reality, it's like, as long as you're doing what you need to be doing, you'll never be confused. I was talking to my friend Emily today. Finally, it's been a minute. And I was like, thank you, girl. Thank you for confirming everything for me. When everybody else is like, oh, I'm lost, I'm confused. I'm like, what are y'all confused for? Ain't y'all been working? Hello? Why are you lost? Ain't you been working? Hello? Oh, look, there's that Queen of Cups. When the world gets dark, shine brighter. And some stars have found their shine. And some others will. And some people will flock to the light like moths to a flame. It just is what it is. Ooh, the Tower with that Queen of Cups. Boom, boom. But, yeah, it's like, if you're not being assisted right now, or if you feel like you aren't, it's probably to get you to kind of sort of step up a little bit. You know, we all more or less sign contracts. And it's like, I feel like there are some people, I don't want to say people who would be otherwise regular, because that sounds very haughty. But it's like, if you look at, like, there will be people who will surprise you. There are going to be people who do a lot better than you would have necessarily expected. And there are going to be people who don't do as well as you would have expected. And so it's almost like there's this opportunity for, even if you don't necessarily resonate with old soul energy, or even if you don't feel like you're an old soul or whatever, or even if your soul is a little younger, the way you show up is indicative of a lot of things. And age doesn't necessarily come with a wisdom, with an ability, or with a skill. Not necessarily, especially when you come down here. Archangel of Mysteries and the Ten of Cups. Yes. Girl, that Ten of Cups has just been popping out lately. I'm a fan. I like it. I dig it. Keep coming. Ace of Pentacles. We've been seeing that one too. The Ace of Pentacles, and then that Pentacle and the Lantern of that Archangel of Mystery. Love her. Love that. Let's pull some cards. Let's see if there's a spread in here. I know what I want to do. I know what I want. So I'm going to shuffle these up. I didn't necessarily need to do that, but that's fine. But yeah, for the people who navigate out of the forest before the fog lifts, you know, same story I've been telling since the beginning of the year, apparently. Now, I thought the fog had rolled in then because there was a little bit of confusion. It's like we're in this new decade, in this new year, and it feels like Spirit has gone a little silent. Like, what's up? Right? Like, what's real? Ooh, there's a Sour Patch Kid just went on the floor, y'all. Tragic. What color is it? It can be yellow, orange, red, or purple. It's red or whatever color this is. I don't know if this is red or orange. I thought it would be yellow. I ain't never claimed to be clairvoyant or psychic, unless we're speaking about energy. But I don't know. I don't necessarily consider that psychic, right? Like, if you can feel energy, in my mind, it's like I don't know if that's the same as being psychic because that's just like I'm a little more sensitive than you, so I can feel it before you can feel it, right? It doesn't necessarily make me psychic. This is what I wanted. Yes. Okay. I want to actually interject one more card here just to get a little bit of a time frame. So, why did I do that? This is going to be the road ahead. We're going to zoom in. We're going to see if we can fit all these in here. Actually, I'm not going to modify it because that's pointless in these energies because, I mean, it's just energy. Honestly, it may be a little bit more progressive than anything. And so I don't know if it'll necessarily be a time thing or if it'll just be when you finish this phase, you move on to the next phase, and then the next phase, and then the next, and then the next. Ooh, that keeper. What that Five of Swords? That Hector. Give this a cut. Now we're waiting for like one card to fall out. This will be our guide. Girl, I just said one card and I just got four. The Angel. This is extremely interesting. The bottom of the deck is the Ebony Shield, Queen of Pentacles. Now, this is, like I said, extremely interesting because we start with the Page of Swords. Love that. The Page of Swords and the Five of Cups. Right? So this messenger is telling us that we need to walk away from the idea of something. It's like there's like this what if game that we're playing in our mind that is slowing us down. It's like what if I wouldn't have did that, or they wouldn't have did that and it would have went differently. All this what if stuff is keeping us Eight of Swords stuck. Instead of us Eight of Cups focused on moving forward, right? These what if games aren't helping. But what I do love is that this Page of Swords, if we stop playing these what if games, if we decide to move forward, this Page of Swords is going to come in and free this Eight of Swords captor. And then I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but the person tied up in the back of the Eight of Swords is actually the angel from Temperance. Like, again, I don't know if y'all will be able to tell. There we go. But that is the angel. And you can kind of see the ropes on her from where she was tied up in this card. So, beautiful. But again, it's the opportunity for us to free ourselves. SYS. SYOS. Save your own soul. Because we're capable. There's a Hierophant again. That Holy Sea was coming out big time. Okay. Now there's the Death card with the Queen of Pentacles. 3. Alright, now let's see. Nice! It's 1. Thank you. I'm going to stop here. And then I'm going to pull the rest. It's fine. Okay. So this is gonna be our advice. I think these are pull top and bottom. Let me make sure. What does that mean? 5, 6, and 7. So 7 we'll do last. Well, let's see. Bottom of the deck is the Queen of Swords now. So we went from the Queen of Pentacles to the Queen of Swords, and that is the Scarlet Shield. And I'm flipping these over because I'm hoping to get one in reverse as some advice. There it is, right there. Thank you. Guess what the bottom of the deck is now, y'all? Can y'all see that? That grotesque, the 5 of Cups. So there we go. If this is the angel, I'm gonna freak out. It ain't gonna be the angel. Let me stop. Oh gosh, why this one? Why the Hector? Okay. The 5 of Swords came out, and the 5 of Cups is here. You can see on the 5 of Cups, there's a river that leads off to the horizon. Also, the card, I showed y'all the 4 of Cups the other day. Just get it. Alright, let me see it. Oh my gosh, okay, thank you. Ooh, alright. The cards at the bottom of this deck are interesting. Wow, okay. Ow, okay, alright, stop. Little headache or whatever that was trying to roll in. It's like at the back of my head too. Like, what is that? It's like here and like up here somewhere. I ain't got time for that. Okay. There's some very interesting combinations here that I really like. This is just going to be a facial journey for me. Yeah. Okay, alright. I got to pull these out. I have to pull these out. The Empress, the Hierophant, and the Emperor. 354 or 453. But all of these together, girl, like, excuse me? Okay, hold on. There we go. Like, excuse me? Like, the Empress, the Hierophant, and the Emperor. The Emperor and the Empress with marriage in the middle. And we may be coming upon that time where the divine feminine and the divine masculine kind of sort of do whatever they need to do to really usher in this new age, this new era. And the Mayan New Year is on the 26th of this month. So that's interesting. Cute. Here it is. Oh, I love that. Okay. I'm actually going to pull the cards around it because it's sitting in between 16 and 17. This 4 of Cups. So here's the Tower, the 16. Now here's the 4 of Cups. And then here is the Star, the Healer. So whatever this Tower was, we're going to be healing from it, which is lovely energy. But you see this hand, that cut? Let's see. Let me make sure I'm not like bumping this into the thing. Okay, so y'all see that? The cloud offering that cup to this person meditating there, like, when am I gonna get what I want? And Spirit is like, bruh, it's been right here. And my hand is getting tired, so if you don't take this cup, I'm gonna just pull it away. And you ain't gonna never know. Keep it up. Play with me if you want to. Well, in this 5 of Cups, we see the same cloud there. Y'all see it? Right there. That's the same cloud. When everything is all stormy and tempestuous over here it's all stormy and tempestuous. Right there is that cloud, offering us peace, girl. So we have the waterway here that leads to that horizon. Here, it's on the land. and it leads up towards the sun. It leads towards the sun up there. So this is our guide. The Hector is our guide, and that the grotesque was at the bottom of the deck. Now the Hector is not anything new because we saw him in the angel spread. So look up the angel spread whenever the angel spread was. And in that reading, the Five of Swords spoke to our tenacity, right? It's like things are about to get difficult, things are about to get hard, and we ain't necessarily going to be helping too much because it's an initiation of sorts. And it's not that they won't be. They're not going to make it any easier for us, is what I will say. They won't make it any easier. And they're kind of sort of, here's a yellow one. That's the yellow one I thought fell on the floor. But it's like they want to see how much we can do on our own. Whenever you're flowing and you're connected, this almost tastes like pina colada or pineapple, and I don't like pina colada because I'm not a fan of coconut or pineapple. But you're seeing how much we can do on our own. I feel like sometimes I know that the other night I was like, I don't know when I'm channeling because I'm so in touch and in tune with my higher self. And it honestly feels like my higher self is an aspect of myself. So if I get something from my higher self, it's not outside of my chain of command, right? If I'm going up my own chain and if it doesn't come from outside of that chain, then it's just something that I'm recalling, remembering. But also that is connected to everything. So it's like how much of it is from the outside and how much is actually that. But it's weird because like it's almost like sometimes a scene will come to my mind, but it'll almost play like a memory. Anyway, I feel like we kind of sort of neglect our higher selves a little bit. And you never know who you are up top, right? I feel like we all have higher selves, but they may be, they may fall at like different levels. And again, it depends on, who you are. At your core, who you are. Kind of sort of depends on how long you've been around, but it's more so what you do at the time that you've existed. It's about that more so than like how long you've been around, right? There are like 5-year-olds who can sell out stadiums because they play whatever instrument so well. Girl, and they're 5. So you can be in the music business however long you want to be in the music business, but you got this 5-year-old, 4-year-old, 3-year-old who's a natural born genius. It's not what you do. It's not how long you're here. It's what you do at the time. Right? Anyway, we have the Hector being our guide moving forward. I'm going to assume that if the Hector is here, girl, it's going to be a little bit rough. But maybe not. Maybe it'll be dandy. Maybe it'll be fine. It speaks to, oh, girl, why you do me like that, Instagram? We start with the advice. I started this one with the advice. I was like, let's just get the advice up front so we already know. So what is the advice of the Hector? Watch it be like, I'm feeling like a strength card, a 9 of wands, or like a card about stamina. Let's see. I mean, there is a stamina in this card, sure. This is the advice. Girl, this is actually interesting because the card's by Alicia on Instagram. She had a thing the other day, and what I need to leave behind, it was a graphic, and what I needed to leave behind was the 8 of Pentacles, and my advice was the Devil, and I was like, what is that? But when you think about it, that energy, it speaks to ties that are very, very hard to break. In a lot of decks, he's seen as ruling over the two lovers, right? And in this deck, the lovers are the Phoenix and the Dragon, um, masculine and feminine. But in a lot of decks, he's like over the two lovers, and so there is a sort of tie there. And the advice here may be, I said something about the divine feminine and the divine masculine coming together because the Emperor, the Empress, and the Hierophant all came out together. This to me is saying, like, don't neglect the other parts of yourself, right? The darker parts of you, don't neglect them. The lighter parts of you, don't neglect them. The more naive and innocent, the more innocent, not naive, the more innocent part of you, don't neglect it. The more mature part of you, don't neglect that either. For whatever is coming ahead, all of you needs to show up at the table. And with this Five of Cups energy at the bottom of the deck, excuse me, it's like it's whatever this was preventing, it's tying up parts of yourself that you're going to need. You're going to need those parts of you to be free in order to move forward. This is a whole sort of whole scale effort, right? Now, the unseen obstacle in this. Yes, sis, I remember. The unseen obstacle here is the Eight of Cups. Five of Cups and Eight of Cups both came out together, girl. And we used to see a lot of her in the past. The unseen obstacle is the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Cups is the defector. So with the title The Defector, it's almost like you're pulling away from something that you're supposed to be engaged in and involved in. I think it almost feels like the unseen obstacle, 2 yellows and a purple, double solar and crown. Work. Let's see what colors we have. Purple, orange, red, and yellow. No green. So we have the crown, the sacral, the solar plexus, and the root. No third eyes, no throats, no heart. Just the top one and the bottom 3. So anyway, it almost here seems that like it's going to be really easy to neglect something or to leave something behind that we actually need moving forward. So there needs to be a conversation with the ego that happens here. Because it almost feels like something is going to present itself again, or something has recently presented itself, and whatever it is, I would say that we're not looking at the relationship of whatever this is in the correct way. So if this double energy is bad, then I feel like the advice would be understand what devil energy is and understand what it does, right? If you are on an improper path, I'll say improper, more so than wrong. If you are in a lesser aligned path to get you where you want to be, it's more likely that you will encounter less interference from the devil because you're not going in the direction you want to go in. It's like if you're spinning out, he doesn't, like, there's no reason for him to come in and to, like, try to do whatever, right? Also, I was thinking about course correcting the other day. I don't remember why. And so if there's a situation that you want to walk away from and you don't really encounter any resistance in walking away from it, that may potentially be an indicator that it's okay. If there's something that you're returning to and you do feel or encounter resistance, use your discernment, because that could be your discernment telling you, hey, don't go back there. But it's like when you're not on the right path, he doesn't really mess with you. If you're not really moving, he doesn't really mess with you. And sometimes it's an obvious distraction, right? Like if you're going through the woods and you encounter a sign that says you most definitely want to go in the left direction, nothing but bad awaits you on the right direction, with a winky face emoji on it, or with like one of them devil horn emojis on it with a winky face too, then it's like, okay, I should probably go in the direction that this sign is telling me not to go in because something about the sign looks fishy. It's very that, which is interesting because yesterday, in the past 2 days, this term has come up. And then now there's been like some synchronicities around it. I'm like, oh my gosh, everything's a synchronicity these days, right? Like when you're like, you don't really need to know much, but you'll get them syncs that like line you up. And I'm not necessarily talking about, oh, I saw this number all over the place today. It's like, okay, cool. Like, what do the numbers mean actually for you? Like, and how do they direct you? I mean, like things that turn into things that you look into that then turn into other things that actually kind of sort of unfold a path when you follow them. Anyway, however you get your syncs, you get your syncs. But it's like this devil, the advice of this devil energy is almost like, hey, it's opposites day. Like, don't forget it's opposites day. If this isn't you sort of like maintaining a connection to something, everything like the advice, like the person coming out as the Five of Swords, as like our guide through this. Oh, that's what this is. Our guide is the Five of Swords. Oh my gosh, it answered everything. The Five of Swords is the tenacity, right? With the Devil and the Eight of Cups, like, we're going to feel like we need to walk away from something. We're going to want to give up on something. But our guide is telling us that we never give up. We never give up. We're the God Strong Five of Swords. Even when the fight is over, we keep fighting. That's this Five of Swords. Who is this? Mars? Who is this? It's actually Venus. Venus in Aquarius is the Five of Swords. I'm kind of sort of surprised. Maybe I shouldn't be because Venus and air signs are weird, y'all. I'm sorry. Anyway, I love Aquariuses. I love y'all. Venus and Aquarius can be kind of sort of like distant though, right? Like Venus is one of the closest planets to Earth. But now you're putting her all the way out there where Uranus is, and it's like, okay, girl, well, Uranus or Saturn. So Venus is supposed to be right here. She all the way out there, screaming from hundreds of light years away, I love you. It's like, what'd you say? I said I love you. It's like, huh? She's gone. You can't feel it. I love Aquarius. I love y'all. That's a joke. The Five of Swords is our guide. That solves everything. We're going to feel like giving up or walking away from whatever this is. It almost seems like if because remember I said every part of us needs to be present. So if your shadow is whole and aligned and it communicates to you, you'd be able to tell the difference between like when a shadow energy is trying to come in and get you off of your path and when like something truly isn't for you. When you are completely whole and healed within yourself, or when you are more self-integrated. And I love integrated more so than just healed because it implies that a certain relationship that we need to have with it, right? It's like, oh yeah, I held my shadow. She never speaks. I lock her in the room. She's good. It's like, okay, well, does she participate at all? And he's like, no, why would I want her to participate? She's a shadow. And it's like, okay, girl, well, keep her in there. It's your journey. Let me like try to keep these chill light vibes, right? I shouldn't have pulled the SKT. I should have cut. No, I ain't gonna go there. I ain't gonna. If y'all see the SKT, know that I'm in. This is serious mode. I mean, business. I'm work right now, and I'm Capricorn. But yeah, that's what this is. Our advice is to keep going, even if it seems like it's a waste of time, or even if it seems like it isn't. Now, I ain't telling nobody to go back to a situation that is not for them at all. One moment. Oh, well, maybe she made a mistake. Okay. Did you mean to call me? Oh, I think I know what that was about. All right, work. So our unseen ally is the Ten of Pentacles. This is a legacy. Girl. Why do I feel like this just went quantum? It's like your future self is coming back to the past to make sure you make the right choice. Girl, what kind of Terminator? Um, your unseen ally is the dynasty. It almost feels like there's something that you've been inheriting for this moment. It almost feels like with this devil and this Eight of Cups, it almost feels like this Eight of Cups is this Ten of Pentacles. And we're going to be leaving it behind thinking that we're getting to it, but in reality, we may be getting further from it. And the moon is here. It's all a trick of the moon. You see the moon with these little bitty stars back here, and this like whatever sigil or whatever the circle within the square within the triangle is. Things are twisted, y'all. It's Opposites Day. Remember, it's Opposites Day. But that's what this Five of Swords energy always was. It's like Spirit is going to be throwing us some tests and some challenges, and they may not necessarily be helping us too much, and not in the ways that they used to. And they're just going to see if we stick around or not, if we tough it out or not. I really kind of sort of organized this backwards, y'all, and I did it intentionally. I don't know why. The Dark Horse is the next card out, so definitely standing our ground and fighting in the darkness for what we want. We have swords, we have pentacles, we have cups, and we have fire. Every element is here, plus the devil. Interesting, right? Everything that we need is at our disposal. This is the space of the focal point, which I love. This is the focal point of everything. This is where everything converges. Everything converges in the night. And it's almost like we're blindfolded, in the dark, and earmuffed. Not earmuffed. We're blindfolded in the dark, and there's nothing to touch. So we have no sense of direction at all. Right? It's not even like a tree that you can put a hand on or a wall that you can put a hand on to try to navigate and to make sure you're at least going in the same direction. But you can hear things. It's like in Bird Box when they were almost at the whatever and they were like, hey, take off your blindfold, take off your blindfold. It's almost like that. But in the dark, what have I been saying? It's about us learning how to navigate through the dark. Girl, this is the mist. This is the fog. This is the forest. Everything converges on this point. And I love this because it's like there's this Six of Wands victory to claim in the dark. It's almost like this is a finish line. It's a gateway. It's a portal. It's a finish line. And it's like we're running a race in the dark. And it almost sounds like someone's like, hey, like, where's the starting line? And you get no reply. Like, where's the starting line? Where's the start? Where's the start? Where's the start? And it's like, girl, you're already here in the forest in the dark. We've already started. Right? As soon as the lights went out, we started. As soon as you started to feel afraid and confused, we started. So we've been in this for a minute. But again, in the dark, it's like everything in the realm of the moon. Up can be down, down can be up, left can be up, right can be down. East is west. So both directions are the same. And so if you're trying to go this way, you're not going to make any progress because ultimately at the end of the day, they kind of sort of cancel out. And they keep you stuck in the middle point because they're both pointing inwards. things aren't going to be quite so straightforward for those of y'all who will now begin to play. Things aren't going to be quite that straightforward. Next card is... Okay, we have a page, the Page of Cups, which was everything that we should have learned in Cancer season, which is like follow your heart, connect to the heart. What does your spirit say? Like your spirit say. As we connect to our hearts and to source energy, we also connect to those higher elements of ourselves, right? And it's almost like in order to ensure that we don't completely bypass this step in the chain of command, in order for us to not neglect this part of ourselves, there needs to be a little bit of distance up here that actually gets us connected in that area and getting to know that part of ourselves a little more. That only really comes through when you are connected to the self. Let's see. What's your message, love? What is your message? And please don't bring me another page. The strong... Oh, there we go. It's right there, y'all. It's coming out in between the moon and the Four of Pentacles. After that moon. Is that the Archangel of Mysteries? At least we got the Archangel of Mysteries, but girl, I don't think she's too much helping. Because with that moon sitting right on top of her, she's like, I can't interfere, I can't help. What is this? This is interesting. This is what to refer to. So, like I said, it's like we have no means of landmarking or of sort of determining whether or not we're going in circles because it's completely dark, right? What to refer to? The sun. Girl, hold up. Oh, goodness. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Hold up, y'all. I be doing the most. I get it from my mama. I does the mostest. I does the mostest. I'm sorry, y'all. I just knocked the whole thing over. The sun. This is what we can refer to. How do we refer to the sun when we're in the dark? So the sun and the moon were together because right behind the sun card, the card that was face down, was the moon. And the angel, the Archangel of Mysteries, the angel who illuminates the shadow, was behind the moon. So we have the sun and the moon together, and then we have the angel who can walk the realms above and the realms below, right behind this sun and the moon. So, bottom of the deck now is the Magician, which is interesting because I've already noted that we have every element present here. So with the Magician being at the bottom of the deck, this is the son of our own making. The Warrior here, the thing to refer to is not to give up and to keep fighting the fight. But we're fighting from the heart. And the heart is one of the more powerful things to combat darkness with. And so with this Eight of Cups, the Eight of Cups is about leaving something that we're emotionally tied to. But it almost feels like with this Eight of Cups, we would be leaving our heart behind. Here's an 8 and then there's a 7. Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice that. And then here's a 6. Because it's 15, 5, 6, 7, 8, no 9, 10. If this is a 9, then we'll have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's kind of sort of jumbled up though, right? The 5 and the 6 is here. And then we have an 8 or a 10. We have to go past that to get the 7. But yeah, what to refer to This is the light that we hold inside of us. And a lot of decks, the sun and the sun card, there's a like a baby on top of a white horse. There's a freedom in there's a freedom in innocence and youth. There's a freedom and innocence and youth. And it all comes from within. This is about us finding our own light and discovering our ability to shine. Like I've been saying, when the world goes dark, shine brighter. That's what we can refer to. It's our own light. Now, any additional info we have is that angel card. I love this. I love that the angel came out last and the Five of Cups is right there. This is a journey of us freeing ourselves. And we do that by having a very tight internal alchemy. Every part of ourself is present and accounted for, is valued, and its input is taken. Not always listened to, but it's taken, right? The best way through this is to unite all those different parts of us. I'm going to read the I Ching between the Devil and the Page of Cups, because this is sort of like everything that this entails, and these are the things on the outside. To get like an overall image or picture or whatever. No, thank you. I'm like, what is this? I don't Ooh, girl, I don't know where that just came from. I was just like in a music video in my head for a split second there or something. Is that earth or mountain? That's earth. And chalices. This is wind over earth. So let's see what wind over earth is. Wind over earth sounds interesting. Wind over earth is critique number 20. I don't think I've ever gotten this one before. Critique? Critique sounds new to me. Critique, reassessment, and audit yourself. Exactly everything I've been saying. This is Guan. And it says, there is a need for contemplation, seeing but not understanding. Like a child, you see the circumstances going on around you, but you fail to grasp the ramifications. Kings past call upon the four guardians of the universe to aid them toward the correct guidance of their people. You must do the same. It is a time for quiet introspection and self-reflection. Before you proceed, reevaluate the inquiry at hand and restate for yourself what your motivations are. If your true motivations do not align with the divine, adjust your motivations. Only after sincere contemplation should you return for a second divination. So this is telling me that I don't speak on this anymore. I'm done. It's not as harsh as like the fool. Like it's not as harsh as divination does not seek out the fool. The fool seeks out divination. Right? Don't come back until you've done some growing. It's not that harsh. But everything that you need is within you, and you have the ability to get all of the information that you need. And again, we need to unite ourselves, unite those parts of ourselves at the same time. It's all there. I love that. I love that. I feel like that's this. I feel like that's what I've been saying. So we'll put these together, shuffle it back up. I'm going to pull one Wisdom of Lord Ganesha card, even though, you know, it said don't do no more divination. Or do whatever before you seek a second divination. That's my little Libra buddy. He got that special noise. So if y'all ever hear that, that's him. Emily has the harps. So if you ever hear harps, it's Emily. And those are the only two people who I gave special ringtones to. What he want? Ooh, that Four of Wands with the Queen of Swords at the cut. Okay, so what's the last and final message as I put these away? Ouch, that kind of hurt. There we go. Oh gosh, girl, please. The Five of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles. With the Strength card at the bottom of the deck, this is telling me your legacy is at stake. Literally. Your legacy is at stake. Your dynasty is at stake. Everything that you've... It's like in all of your past lives, everything that you've worked forward towards acquiring in all of those lives, that moment is now. And everything that you're going to be getting out of the rest of this one and the ones to follow this one, the moment to really stand up for all of that is now. You have everything to lose by not showing up and by not participating. And everything that you need to guide you is inside of you. But it requires all of you to be present, right? So whatever weird stuff you got going on with your shadow or even your like higher self or your light or your inner child, it's like, girl, how much warning have we given you to do that inner child work and to do that shadow work? Plenty. Like you can't show up on the battlefield with your mind somewhere else. With your mind somewhere else, you can't do that. You probably won't last that long if you do. But let's see what Wisdom of Lord Ganesha has to say. He's pretty chill most of the time. I feel like I've never gotten a card here and be like, oh my gosh, it's so like mean. Who did I talk to yesterday? No, I talked to Ingrid today. I'm through friends I ain't talked to in a minute. Girl, she must be going through it for real though. She was like, oh, I'm living. How are you? Oh, I feel so bad. I want to see if I can do something, but I don't want to bend the crap out of these. They said, don't even try. Okay. We'll just pull the one off the top. Y'all see that? I'll give you this perspective. Courage. Courage. I've read this card so many times. The root of courage is cœur or whatever, and it's French and it means heart. Courage comes from the heart. Literally what I just said. The Page of Cups, the messenger from the realm of cups, brought us strength. Right? Bottom of the deck is sustenance, number 7. Speaks to the solar plexus. This is number 30? No, number 50. This is number 50. So courage in these times of change. And the 7, that's the spiritual sustenance. So maybe up your spiritual practice. Maybe meditate more. Whatever you do that gets you in a proper spiritual state of mind, do that. Because when you are spiritually balanced, it'll make it easier for you to get everything, all the insights that you need from you. There we go. More or less. There we go. There we go. Courage! I say that every time. The warmth of your open heart can give comfort to all who cross your path. That's why I'm trying to be trying to singe a little bit less and warm a little bit more, you know. Don't want to burn the eggs. We want to incubate them. Ain't trying to cook no chickies. The root word for courage is cœur. I don't know how to pronounce it. Cœur, which is the French word for heart. Corazón in Spanish. Courage comes from the heart. It is an inner strength guided by love which seeks truth and justice. When you have the courage to be true to yourself, you start to feel empowered to act and live in ways true to your own soul, without any illusion. Ganesha is urging you to let down your guard and stop wearing a mask. Begin to have more respect for yourself as well as for others. Beware of making harsh judgments about yourself and others. When you come from the heart, you will find that you relate better to others. Lots of stuff about others. Your innate gifts will be able to shine through. Your innate gifts will be able to shine through as you connect to your heart. You are capable of leadership, achievement, and inspiring others to succeed through your own success. When you draw this card, it is a sign that your ability to cooperate and thrive in peer ventures with like-minded individuals is heightened. Be willing to do what is needed for things to run smoothly for you. Ganesha promises great success if you are willing to let down your walls. He is pictured here on the powerful lion, inherited from his mother Parvati. The lion represents the fierce nature of Ganesha. He calls on you now to trust the fearless part of your being, your own inner lion, and invites you to work with him to learn how to be valiant and harness your heart's great courage. I love that. I was talking to Emily today. She showed me a thing. She was like, oh my gosh, my sister just got this. It had a tiger on it. Now here's the lion message. So both of the big cats. And I told her about the dream I had about the lion and then the dream I had about the tiger and the claws. And there's the lion to complete the tiger that I saw earlier today. So I love tigers now. Tigers are kind of sort of one of my favorites. I want to see if y'all would be able to see these if I pulled these. Maybe not. But I'll get one card. From the Weaver Tarot. And we'll use the little cheat card to go hand. Why it smell like food out there? It smell like food out there. Ooh, the Two of Wands at the cut. We'll see. I feel like I see the High Priest a lot in this deck. The High Priest, and there's another card that has the moon cycles on it. And it's not the moon, I'm sure. And y'all kind of shuffling today. Hey, that was the Hierophant. I can tell by the two keys. Give this a cut. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's only one card. I thought it would be more than one. It felt like it was more than one, but I guess it was only one. Bottom of the deck is the Seven of Swords. Lots of thread on the Seven of Swords. So this is almost like instead of... It's like things have been tied up. They couldn't be released. Let's see. Oh, you can kind of see right there. You can, there we go. It's like things are more so tied up than anything. Not necessarily stolen. Just tied up. Because you're tied up. The card that came out is Justice. So those things may be being returned. The sword is the scale. We got wings. No, these are crystals, which are abundance. Crystals in the shape of wings. Well, crystals on the hilt. We have 3 crescent moons, the sword, and the scales. These scales are empty, though. I mean, of course they are, but there's not anything on either. Let's see. Let's see if I can get that same angle. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe not. Oh, come on. Come on. I was so excited last time. Maybe y'all can see it somewhere. I mean, it just looked real shiny, don't it? These cards are gorgeous, but just oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. The sword, the crystals at the hilt, justice, and then the two scales. Justice with that 7 of swords at the bottom of the deck. As you free yourself, all things subsequently bound will also be released. But this is a complete effort. We need to have all of ourselves present at this moment. To neglect any of us is to neglect all of us. And if we go around neglecting ourselves, we ain't too much necessarily going to get what we want. We're not necessarily too much going to get super far. So if you want to go the distance, then it's like, how do we expect spirit to walk a mile when we don't even take a single step ourselves? And a lot of us do. But the time for that is over. Or is it changed? The time for that has changed. Okay. Oh, man. I've done this like every time I pull this deck out. Excuse me. Well, I guess I didn't read the card. So, one sword. Swords are air, mental realm, change, bravery, communication, and power. Emphasis on bravery because courage and because of the other card that came out. Emphasis on change. Emphasis on communication. The one is beginning, opening, and possibility. So bravery begins to open possibilities for change. Bravery and communication begin to open possibilities for change. Again, the crystals are abundance, wealth, pieces of self in the physical body. Pieces of self, I forgot about that. So this is about us balancing those pieces of ourselves. And it's about open communication between those pieces of ourselves that begins to open this portal to abundance and to our true power, just like the courage said, our inner power, right? And then there were two scales. 2 is a number of balance, connection, and duality. So yeah, balancing that internal duality, girl. It'll do it. It'll do it. And then you'll be like, oof, all kind of things will just be open to you, right? That's what really opens gates and doorways. And with the North Node in Gemini, that's kind of sort of what we're all sort of striving for right now. To resolve those internal polarities, right? Because they don't necessarily always have to be at war. But yeah, that's where I'm going to shut this down. I hope you have a good whatever whenever y'all see this. I really hope you do. I hope you're having a fantastic day, a fantastic evening, a fantastic afternoon. And I will catch y'all later. Probably tomorrow, I'm sure.